within the Economic and Financial Learning Office. In this capacity, she spurred his innovative communication strategies and forged strategic alliances with a wide array of local and international private and public institutions, all aimed at advancing economic and financial education across the Philippines. Previously, Ms. Jeniesa contributed to the Supervisory Analytics Department of the BSP, where she ensured compliance with reporting standards among all BSP-supervised institutions. Her experience extends to retail banking services at the BDO Unibank prior to her tenure at the BSP. Ms. Espinosa holds a master's degree in business administration from the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila and graduated cum laude from the University of the East. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome and give a hand to our first speaker, Acting Deputy Director Jeniesa S. Espinosa.
Mayong hapon to our friends from media, and good afternoon as well to my colleagues from the BSP head office, from Judith as from the regional office, and from the Cagayan de Oro branch. And I am again Ms. Jen Espinosa, which will share with you some of the key concepts of pag ginagawa ni Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Okay, so this is the outline of my presentation. First is the BSP's mandate. Second, the core functions of the BSP. And third, other functions of the BSP. So, dun lang po tayo. So, basic central banking lang po tayo to give you some idea. Ano ba ang ginagawa ni Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas? Right? Now, let's proceed with the BSP's mandate. No? According to the Republic Act 7653, or the New Central Bank Act, as amended by the RA 1121, the BSP shall maintain a central monetary authority. So meaning, it shall be independent and accountable body in pursuing its mandate, particularly on money, banking, and credit. So, let's say, independent, hindi po kami part ng executive branch ng government. Neither the government agencies could influence the decision ng BSP. So, the BSP provides policies with regard to money, banking, and credit. Okay, so sino ang nagpo-provide ng policy? Sino ang nag-create ng policy sa BSP? Tingin niyo po. Anyone? It's the monetary board members. Monetary board. So the monetary board members are appointed by the President of the Philippines. Okay? Currently, meron po tayo, ang monetary board members should have 7 members. Ang nag-chair po niyan ay kung sino ang governor ng BSP. So, sino ba ang governor natin? Siya. Siya po si Governor Eli Remolona. So, siya po yung current appointed na ni President po as our BSP governor. Okay. So, we also have a representative from the private public sector. Normally, siya ang Secretary ng Department of Finance. Sino po siya? Secretary?
Si Rapid ko.
Ganito, okay. So, isa siya sa member ng Monetary Board. So, the other members will be from the private sector. So, ang pinaka-newest appointed Monetary Board member ay si very recent lang po, si Mr. Walter Wasmer. Okay, siya yung isa sa pinaka-recent na in-appoint na Monetary Board member ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Again, they are the policy-making body of the BSP, particularly concerning the money, banking, and credit. Okay? So, with that, ano ba ang mga ginagawa ni Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas? So, here are the 4 functions of the BSP. Price stability, next is financial stability, and the other is efficient payments and settlement. So, nakikita nyo, key pillars. Pillar, kinukumpara namin siya sa pillar, no? Kasi as our guide, no, to the central banking. So, isa-isahin natin siya. First is price stability, which is achieved through the conduct of monetary policy. So, ano ba ang price stability? Ano ba ginagawa sa price stability? There is price stability if ang prices or the inflation and the average increase in prices sa mga goods and services are low, mababa, and stable, banayad lang. Meaning, yung mga prices natin, hindi siya agad-agad mag-i-spike pataas or bababa agad-agad. Naramdaman po ba natin yun? Let's say, for today, magkano ba ang rice ngayon sa CDO? Let's say, 30? 40? 60? Wow. Talagang mali pala ako. Metro Manila price pa. 60 pesos. Naramdaman niyo po ba na after 5 hours, magiging 100 pesos agad yan? Hindi natin nararamdaman yan actually ngayon, right? Kasi there is a price stability. Banayad. Hindi siya agad-agad mag-spike pataas or bababa agad. Alright? And then, kapag gano'n, ano nangyayari? Tayo bilang isang consumers, we are able to manage our finances well, right? Because nakakapag-budget naman po tayo. Kahit pa paano, because we know the prices of goods and services. Even the business owners, they will be able to manage their finances by, let's say, investing. No? Kasi yung purchasing power ng ating pera, because of price stability, hindi agad-agad nagbabago. And mas meron tayong stable and sound economic and financial decisions pagdating sa kaperahan natin. Alright? Now, sabi ko kanina, ang price stability is kung ang inflation ay low and stable. So, what is inflation? Hindi po siya ang price ng bawat produkto. Okay? Iba kasi iniisip yung inflation, kunyari, yung rice, yun yung inflation. No. Ang inflation is the rate of increase of the prices of goods and services over a period of time. Meaning, yung bilis ng pagtaas ng mga goods and services natin ay over sa isang period. No? So, paano ba na-determine ang ating inflation rate? Ano niyo po ba? Narinig niyo na po ba ang Consumer Price Index? And yet, ang Consumer Price Index, kung makikita niyo yung isang basket na yan, yung nilalaman ng basket na yan ay consists of goods and services na usually pinagbibigyan natin. Yun yung mga expenses ng typical Filipino family. Okay, pag bumili ko ako ng Louis Vuitton, kasama po ko siya sa CPI? No. Kasi the typical Filipino people po, ang binibili lang natin siya, di ba yung mga typical goods natin? Right? Electricity, yun yung mga expenses natin, di ba? Yung water, yung pananamit natin, di ba? Typical lang po, hindi kasama dito yung mga gastos ng mga mayayaman kasi outliers sila. So, kung ano yung kadalasan na expenses, pinaglalaanan ng pera ng Filipino families, yun ang nagpo-contribute sa average price ng CPI. And then, we compare. Ano ba ang CPI dati compare sa CPI ngayon? Yun ang magiging inflation rate. For example, price ng rice, price ng isang product is 100 pesos. Last 2 years ago, for example, or last year. And then this year, naging 110. So yung rate of increase nila is 10%. So that's inflation 10%. So ganun yung competition. Okay? So, ano ba ang nagiging reason sa inflation? Okay, we have 2 kinds of inflation kasi. First is the cost push inflation, meaning merong increase sa cost of production ng mga supplies natin or goods and services. Ano ba ang mga reasons ba't nag-increase ang cost of raw materials?
More on demand, less on supply.
It's later, I'll show you later po Normally, may mga item, may mga instances na nag-increase ang raw materials, ang price ng raw materials is because of certain pangyayari, like calamity, right? Yung trade war. Ano nangyari sa atin? Tumaas ang oil, guys, right? So yun yung mga reasons raw materials. Part of the influence of the PSP. Hindi po kaya yan kasi nga out of jurisdiction ng PSP. Okay, what we can influence is demand pull inflation. Meaning, sir, yung sinabi ko kanina, yung demand, nag-i-increase ang demand sa isang products and services. That's what we call demand pull inflation. Doon po kayang influensyahan ni PSP yung flow of money. Bakit dumadami ang demand? Mabiling, why? Tumataas ang ating pera. Diba? Siyempre may pambili tayo, diba? So may pagtaas ng increase of money supply sa atin, sa country. That's why tumataas ang demand. Okay? So, kaya tumataas ang demand normally, tumataas din ang prices dyan. So, ano yung ginagawa? Oh, wala na pala dito. Okay. So, kapag tumaas ang demand, for example, ganito yung pagtaas ng pagbaba ng prices, no? For example, meron akong donuts. Eh, wala tayong pera. Ano pong mangyayari? Walang bumibili ng donuts ko kasi walang pera. Anong gagawin ng mga supplier?
Ibabagsak ang presyo.
Right! Ibabagsak ang presyo. Para, di ba, normally pagdating ng hapon, buy one, take one na, di ba? So, yun kasi nga, wala na masyadong demand. So, bababa ang presyo. What if, meron tayong tanggap na pera, yung gusto-gusto natin yung pandesal sa umaga. Anong gagawin? Madaming pera yung tao madaming gusto ng pandesal. And yan ang pandesal ko, isang kulang out of how many of us? 50 pesos. Ay, 50 na katao. So, anong gagawin ng mga
Increase ang price.
tataasan, di ba? Para kikita tayo. So, normally, ganun yung nangyayari. Alright? So, ano ba yung ginagawa natin to make sure that there is a price stability, stable ang pag-increase ng price? There is what we call the monetary policy framework. So, we do monetary policy. So, ano nangyayari niya? Inflation targeting po tayo. Okay? Si BSP is not part of the Development Budget Coordinating Committee. Sila po ang nagdidikta ng target natin for a year. Example, yung makikita dito, 2023 to 2028, ang inflation target ay within 2 to 4%. So meaning, ang BSP po, BSP is not part of DBCC, but nandun lang tayo to check ano nangyayari. In case na meron silang questions, nandun din tayo to provide clarifications, information for them to have a good decision kung ano ang inflation target natin for a certain period. Now, once na-dictate na kung ano ang inflation target, then the BSP will announce ano ang inflation target natin for this period. Ano naman ang trabaho ni BSP? Ang trabaho po namin is to maintain yung inflation rate. Kung sinabing 2 to 4%, dapat ang inflation rate natin within 2 to 4%. Yun po ang trabaho ni BSP. Okay? Kung ano man yung gagawin namin sa monetary policy namin, we need to inform the public through the media. No? Kaya kung nandito kayo, we need you to share this information. We need, we post it sa BSP website. But kung outside the inflation, ano po kaya gagawin ni BSP? Kung hindi namin na-hit yung target, anong gagawin ni TSP? We report to the President through an open letter. So, nire-report po namin yan syempre. Bakit? Ano nangyari? Alright? Okay. So, ano ba ang slide? Next slide po. Okay. Sige. Alright. So, that's the monetary policy. Pero, nawala yan yung slides na yun. But the monetary policy, normally, ang ginagawa namin is expansionary or contractionary or wala kaming gagawin. For example, kung masyadong madami ang supply ng money, ng pera dito, anong gagawin ng BSP? Normally, what we want to do is, kasi normally kung madaming supply of money, mataas ang inflation. Kasi nga, mataas ang demand. So, ang gagawin namin, we pool the money. Okay? So, ang gagawin namin dyan is, what? We increase the interest rates. Okay, kapag in-increase ng interest rates, for example, pag in-increase ng interest rates sa savings, anong gagawin nyo?
Mag-savings.
Magsisave. So, pinupull namin, di ba? Yung pera, even the banks, they save sa BSP. Nagsisave tayo. Okay? Kapag naman konti ang pera sa ating ekonomiya, meaning, for example, kulang ang may unemployment, masyadong mataas ang unemployment, no? Wala masyadong activity sa within the Philippines. Anong ginagawa natin? Kung pinukuha namin yung pera dati, ngayon naman, papalabas tayo ng pera. Pero hindi kami mamimigay ng pera po sa mga public. Ang gagawin namin through interest rates din. No? Policy rates kasi ang ating ginagawa sa monetary policy. Through interest rates, kanina tinaasan namin ang interest rate, ngayon, bababaan namin. Anong mangyayari? Kung mababa ang interest rates, there's a possibility na bababaan din ng bangko ang interest rates sa pangungutang. Right? And then, bababa din interest rates sa savings. So, what you normally ginagawa ng bangko, ng mga investors, ng mga consumers, naglo-loan sila.
Mas withdrawals.
Yeah, plus withdrawals, di ba? So, marami ng economic activity na nangyayari sa atin. So, ikot na ulit ang pera, dumadami ang pera ulit. So, ganyan ang monetary policy. So, that's the first core function of the BSP. First, price stability. Now, we move on to the second core function of the BSP, which is, ano po? Financial stability. So, sa financial stability, we manage the systemic risk to promote secure and reliable banking system. How do we, and we ensure that there is a sound operations within the BSP supervised institutions. So, paano namin ginagawa yan? Okay, sige. Ano muna ang systemic risk? So, ang systemic risk kasi, tinitignan natin kung nasan ba yung risk na yan that can affect the financial system, that can affect our economy. Tinitignan ni BSP yan. So, tingnan natin yan dito sa video na to para lang maintindihan nyo ano yung sinasabi namin systemic risk. Ay, walang audio. Ay, excuse, wala pong audio.